In fact, the meditation technique that I'm going to be teaching you tonight is probably the most scientifically researched meditation technique there has ever been. There are thousands and thousands of studies in terms of the effects of meditation, the benefits of meditation, whether it's Yale or Harvard or Princeton or Stanford Research Institute or UCLA. We're going to find that the top research institutes throughout the world have taken this subject of meditation and its benefits as something to examine and research, because in the past, people would meditate and say, I feel better. I feel less stressed. I have more energy. I'm happier. And people could just say it's a mood. It's a mood. You're just, you're mood making. But what has happened is that by science researching the results of meditation, they now are objectively able to verify the results, the benefits of meditation in a way that they are undeniable. It is not a mood. We're going to find that the state of mind is directly correlated to the state of your body. And we can measure it, and it is objectively verifiable. And so we can see that by putting you in deeper meditative states, that we are going to get benefits in terms of your body state that are unparalleled in terms of any other type of experience. And to give you an idea, in this type of meditation, we're going to find that the mental activity becomes less and less and less and less and less as we dive deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper within the mind. And we're going to find that correspondingly, that the physiological activity gets less and less and less and less at the same time you're doing this, because the mind and the body are intimately interconnected. As science would even tell us, we're psychosomatic beings, mind-body beings. We have this connection. And so if we use a mental technique to lower the mental activity, we're going to find that correspondingly that's going to result in a lessening of physiological activity, which results in a deep state of rest. And we're going to actually find that the state of rest that is achieved during 20 minutes of this meditation is twice as deep as that level of rest that you would achieve during a night's sleep. Now, what we mean by that is that the quality of rest that you achieve is twice as deep as represented by a reducing of the metabolic rate, the activity of your body. Heart rate, blood flow, galvanic skin response, breath rate, you are going to find are reduced as you meditate, so that if we were measuring you in the sleep state, because we've got the waking state, the sleep state, the dream state, three established parameters of consciousness that most people rotate through in a 24-hour period. And they are all objectively verifiable. I mean, if you were hooked up to an EEG machine and all the other machines in a separate room, the doctors could tell, or the scientists could tell, what state of consciousness you happen to be in without even seeing you by the readouts that would be happening from your brain and your physiology. And waking state has a totally distinctive functioning, sleep state has a totally distinctive functioning, dream state has a totally distinctive functioning, and we're going to find that the meditative state has a totally distinctive functioning. And it's been called scientifically the state of restful alertness, where the mental and physiological activity has been reduced to where it is twice as deep as that of a night's sleep, meaning the restful part is very profound, yet the person is still awake. The person is still aware. What happens when we're in sleep? Unconsciousness. That is not what happens in meditation. We are conscious, we are aware, but the level of rest is twice as deep. So here, this was a result that science found very fascinating, especially when we talk about health. What is the basic healer of life? What has been designed in terms of life as we know it to be the natural healer? And one of the things, as far as a paradigm goes, that we want to be very clear about, that is really tends to be lost in a lot of the medical literature and the scientific viewpoints in terms of health, And this is something that is reclaimed very objectively with regular practice of meditation, is that the very paradigm of us as human beings is that we're designed as self-healing beings. If we create the right state for us to go into, we heal ourselves. That the very nature of consciousness and the very nature of our being is such that when we create the right conditions, which has to do with the expansion of consciousness, we find that the entire system regenerates itself and heals itself. So it becomes very important when we start talking about paradigms and models that we really are able to look at who and what we are in an accurate way to truly understand the capabilities that we have. And the capabilities that we have are truly unbounded. One of the metaphors that Maharishi would use is, if you have a table and you grab one of the legs of the table and you pull it, guess what? The other three come along with it. Everything is interconnected. If we do something to develop the basic fundamental part of ourselves, like the mind or consciousness, we're going to find it has an automatic correlating benefit to the other aspects of our being. And so we're going to find that if we work to improve the state of consciousness of the individual, it automatically improves the state of physiology. And so when we talk about what is designed into life as we know it, as the natural healer for us, it is rest. Why is it that we have this sleep period of, say, 6-8 hours a day designed into our very life? Because we're going to find that it is rest that is provided for us to regenerate ourselves in order to really be able to live life fully. And it is in that state of rest that the healing process takes place. So then let's think of the case that if we're able to actually achieve a state of rest that's twice as deep as that of a night's sleep, then the healing potential of this meditation is tremendous. And that is exactly what has been discovered and experienced by science through thousands of research tests. And so this is one of the fundamental understandings to have about meditation as it relates to health. Not that it's limited to this. If I went into the volumes of research that are available on this in terms of everything from physiological health and mental health and sociological health and all of these other things, it would just blow you away. And this research has been done, and it's out there. And yes, it does have a certain effect on the medical community. In fact, when I first started teaching meditation 45 years ago, most doctors had not even heard about the effects of meditation and from a health standpoint. Now it's very, very common. You're going to find that meditation is prescribed by many doctors for high blood pressure, hypertension, heart disease, stress. Something we were talking about during the break. I think all of us are aware we live in an incredibly stressful world, and it's getting more stressful. And we can have that damage done to us because the actual definition of stress is an overload of experience on the nervous system. And so we're going to find that the effects of life, the overload of stress, is very much related to the aging process and the effect that it has on us physiologically. And one of the first laws of physics, the law of entropy, is that you create a system and you're going to find that over time it begins to deteriorate. That unless it is continued to be regenerated, which has to do with the principle of spirit, which regenerates, then you're going to find that the system falls apart, or what we would call the principle of death. And so we need to shift our perspective in this regard. We are self-healing beings. And to the degree that we do that, which really stimulates, nurtures, develops, and unfolds our deep inner consciousness, we're going to find it has a regenerative effect on our whole being.